Hey guys, it's Dom and welcome back to my channel, Manage Millennial, where I talk about managing my finances and trying to live my best life on a budget. Today's video is going to be me going over my March 2021 budget with you guys, my monthly budget. Before we dive into that video though, I wanted to come up here and explain my absence over the past maybe a little over a month, like a month and a half or so. In the last video, or like my last monthly video, I think I mentioned that I was moving. I moved from Austin, Texas to the Washington, D.C. metro area. I'm in technically Virginia, but it's all kind of considered the Washington, D.C. area. That move went like, well, there was a small hiccup, and that small hiccup was that I contracted COVID. And I spoke about this on my Instagram. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, you know, I'll leave the link in the video or down in the description, but definitely go follow me there because I kind of update, you know, more daily up there. Both me and my dad got COVID. So my dad flew in from the DC area to Austin to help me drive from Austin to DC. I don't know if that is where I contracted COVID. There was a lot of like points during that week that I was moving where I could have came in contact with COVID. Usually I don't leave my house unless it's to go to the grocery store or like Walgreens to pick up like medications and stuff when I was living in Austin. And that week that I was moving, I was out of the house a lot more than usual. I had to go to like Home Depot for moving boxes. I was running back and forth to the grocery store to get cleaning supplies so I could clean my apartment. I had to go to FedEx to ship off a television, and yeah. And then obviously, you know, my dad flew in, but we took so many precautions that, yeah, I just don't know if that was it. During the drive, which took about 2 days, we did have to stop overnight in Memphis at a hotel, so it could have been there too. We stopped a bunch of times at like gas stations to use the bathroom. I had my dog with me, so he had to, you know, be let out every couple hours and stuff, so maybe I came in contact with something there. I have no clue. All I know is that both me and my dad got it, and both me and my dad are fine now. We did, you know, have to isolate for 10 days, which was, you know, I did it, it was fine, but it was like mentally hard. I am, you know, in the DC area now. I live with my boyfriend. And before, if I had contracted COVID like at my place in Austin, nothing really would have changed. Like I would have just been confined to my apartment, which is what I was kind of doing anyways. But with living with another person now, he obviously didn't want to get it. And so I was confined to like my bedroom, and the only time I ever left my bedroom is to use the bathroom or like take a shower. So I was just in one room for 10 days straight. It was hard, but anyways, I got through it and it's fine. I wanted to start posting right after I got out of quarantine, but we decided that we were gonna quarantine that bedroom that I was staying in for an additional week after I got out. So we like slept in the living room and everything, but basically we didn't go into that room, and all my filming equipment and stuff was in that room. So that was like another week. And then you know, miraculously my boyfriend didn't get it, so that was good. But turns out, and he got tested like 3 times in the span of the 2 weeks when I got, you know, it was confirmed that I got it. He kept getting tested because he was so nervous, and he came back negative every time. But then the last time that he got tested, which was like a couple of days after I got out of isolation, he came back negative for COVID, but he came back positive for the flu. So then he had the flu for a while, and I was taking care of him, and it was just so much going on. And so that kind of just delayed me coming back to YouTube. I was just dealing with a whole bunch of stuff. But I am back now. In addition to dealing with all that health stuff, my finances have also just been all over the place. And like with me being sick with COVID, I was just really tired. I didn't feel like tracking, so I wasn't even tracking stuff. I did fine, you know, financially for those months, but I wasn't like tracking anything because just like I said, you know, I had COVID, I was in isolation, I was just laying down, I was feverish and all that stuff, so I wasn't tracking all of my expenses. One thing that was happening a lot over, you know, the past month and a half since I moved in is we've been spending so much on like just household things. You know, when you move into a new apartment, you just kind of gotta get You got to get equipped with all the things that you usually have in your apartment, but you don't have when you first move into an apartment. So just like, you know, we spent a lot on groceries just because we weren't like replenishing stuff that we already had. We were like buying stuff that are usually staples that you keep. I mean, you don't have to buy every time you go grocery shopping, but we had to like get stocked up with, you know, those types of things. So we were spending a lot more on like groceries. We were spending a lot on household stuff. We had to buy lamps and, you know, just random stuff. I'm really excited to come back and start tracking regularly because I believe that March will be the first kind of like normal month where we've already gotten a lot of the stuff that we needed over the past month and a half. This month will be a little bit more normal. And so yeah, I'm just excited to get into this video with you guys. So without further ado, let's jump into my budget. Hey guys, okay, so y'all have no idea how happy I am to be sitting down and filling out my budget because I haven't done this in quite a while. But so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna just fill this out real quick and I'll fast forward you and then we can come back and talk about the numbers together. So BRB. Okay guys, so let's talk about these numbers because some things are a bit different than what my budgets were looking like when I was in Austin. So let's talk through them a little bit. So we have rent and utilities. Obviously that's different now. I live with my boyfriend, so most expenses we like kind of go half on. So my like subscriptions and stuff like that, we don't go half on that. Obviously like my car payments and stuff, but things like rent and utilities and like internet and stuff like that, we go half on. So I am budgeting $11.25 for rent and utilities. I actually have my rent bill for March already, and I think it's like $10.98. So I just thought that $11.25 would just be a good number to always kind of budget for. In terms of internet, so we're using my boyfriend's old provider that he had at his old apartment. He just brought it over to the new one, and so my half of that each month is $20. Netflix, I pay for Netflix because my boyfriend pays for Hulu, so that's kind of how we split it. So I just pay for Netflix, and that is $15.14. Smule, like I've talked about it before, it's like a little karaoke app that I subscribe to on my phone, and that is $21.64 monthly. I pay $1 each month for extra Apple storage. My car payment is $178.95, and TubeBuddy is $4.50, and that's just like a software kind of plug-in thing that I use for YouTube. And then, so for, those are more like fixed expenses, even though rent and utilities is not really fixed because utilities change, but I just decided to put it under like more fixed expenses. And then for variable expenses, so this has changed a bit. Before I was planning on only budgeting $150 for groceries, and before groceries was groceries and household stuff, I kind of just put it together because I take that back. I was budgeting, I think like $185, and that was for groceries and household items. But just seeing the way our spending has been the past couple months, I was just inclined to break out groceries and household into two separate line items, and then also kind of increase both. So groceries, so just food itself, is $200, and you know, we split groceries, so this is like my half, the 200 is like my half, so hopefully all together we'll be good with just $400 a month for both of us, which means, you know, we both budget $200. And then for household items, my half, I'm budgeting $100, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm not sure if if this will be too much or not, especially since March should be a more normal month. I know that we've been kind of overspending in household and groceries the past couple months just because we were stocking up on things that we didn't have. So maybe what I was thinking before could work, like 185 for just, you know, both household and groceries together. But I'm just gonna play it safe this month and split it out. And yeah, go from there, see how that goes. Soja is my beautiful Australian Shepherd puppy. He's not really a puppy, he's 2.5, but I still call him my puppy. And he gets $50 a month. I used to only budget, I think like 40 or something, but it is like winter here in the Washington DC area, and so it's really cold. It's been like icy, there's ice and snow and all that stuff, so I feel like I haven't been out like walking him for like long periods of times like I usually do. And so I've been buying him a lot more toys, like mental puzzle toys and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure I have enough for him getting some toys, and also like his food that I usually get him monthly. Gas, I work remotely now, so I don't really get in my car to drive unless I am taking my dog to the dog park, or we usually take my car when we go grocery shopping because my car has more cargo space. So that's, I think 30 might work. That might need to be bumped up once I don't know, coronavirus, like this quarantine is over and I can feel comfortable driving down to see my mom and my family who live in like the southern part of Virginia. That's about like a 3-hour drive or so. So once I start doing those drives more often, I'll probably have to increase my gas, but I think we're kind of a long ways away from that. I don't feel comfortable going and visiting people outside of my household yet. And then one of the biggest changes is I have started taking private French lessons. So I took French when I was in high school. I went up to almost, I didn't take the AP exam, but I did get all the way up to AP French. Don't ask me why I didn't take the AP exam, but I didn't. And I got pretty far, and then I took like a class when I was in college, but I wanted to learn this again. I might have mentioned this in another video, but I'm actually interested in immigrating to Canada one day, and without getting too deep in this, the immigration process, one of the streams to immigrate is like a point-based system, and you get extra points for being fluent in French. So both me and my partner are actually taking French lessons. So this is for the private French lessons that I take online with a private tutor. And I also started a like actual class. It's through this program called Alliance France, and you'll see more about that in my sinking funds, because that's kind of like a class. You pay for it and then you have the class for like 3 months, and then you don't need to pay for like a new class until like that class is over. So I'm paying for that almost every 3 months or so. And so that's going to be more of a sinking fund, but this is for my private lessons every month. So I'm going to put that down as a variable expense, but it's been going really well so far. This week will be my second week doing it, and I've been having such a great time. It's kind of been like my hobby in this whole quarantine, which I'm really grateful for, because I feel like I didn't have like a lot of hobbies beforehand, and this is like keeping me like from going crazy and having something that I'm excited for each week and stuff. So there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and tally all this stuff up. Okay, so we have the total, oops, I am not in right mode. We have 1366, 23. We have awesome. I don't really have any particular goals for this month except to stay within our budget for groceries, because that has been something we have been going over basically, you know, since I've moved here. So I really want this to be the month that we find some sort of like normalcy for groceries. So I'm hoping that we don't go over this. Another thing we're gonna be doing this month is going grocery shopping every 2 weeks. The last couple months, or well, since I've been here, we've gone grocery shopping. We've tried to go grocery shopping like once a month, which I always feel like the less you go grocery shopping, the harder it is to accurately buy what you need for that time period. At least for me, when I was in Austin, I went grocery shopping every Saturday, and I knew I had a really good handle on how much food I would eat for like 1 week. So it was really easy for me to go grocery shopping that 1 week and know that I wasn't gonna have a bunch of like food waste, or I wasn't buying too little amount of stuff or too much stuff. A week was like perfect for me. For a month, it's just really hard to kind of like estimate how much I'm gonna eat in a month. I guess you could just take whatever you get for a week and just kind of multiply that by 4, but I find that that's just a little bit, I don't know, I'm not ever super accurate doing that. So I kind of like to go grocery shopping a little bit more often because it's just easier to estimate the amount of food that we need. So we're gonna try and go every 2 weeks instead of like once a month, and I hope that that will bring a little bit more accuracy, because we found ourselves like, even we would spend all this money and go grocery shopping once a month, but then like 2 weeks in, we're running out of milk or like eggs or something like that. So I just think it'll be better if we go a little bit more frequently. So that's really my only goal for this month. I think I might have mentioned this in one of my videos, but with me moving to the, you know, Virginia area, I now have state income tax, which Texas doesn't have state income tax. So my salary, my take-home salary is a bit less because of that. But then also my salary is less because I ended up upping my 401k contributions to like 18%. So because of those changes, I'm not exactly sure what my income is gonna be. I know that my income is gonna be enough to like cover the expenses and everything that I put here. I am just not sure exactly how much it's gonna be. So I'm kind of just gonna keep at least the budgeted part. I'm just gonna keep that blank for this month. I will go ahead and put the actual when I'm closing this budget out, but I'm just not sure what it's gonna be, especially since my last paycheck that I got, I finally saw what my paycheck was with the state income tax taken out. So I know what that paycheck looks like, but I don't know what the paychecks look like with me changing my contributions for my 401k up to 18%. So that hasn't been in effect yet, and that should be in effect my next paycheck, which will be the first paycheck of March. So yeah, I'm not sure, you know, what to budget for my income, so I'm just gonna not budget for that. But anyways, that is about it for today's video. For notes, I don't really have any notes for this month other than it's my birthday month, but I don't really need to write that down. So that's gonna be it for today's video. You know what? I keep forgetting this, and that is to put my allowance in. So I do have an allowance. Let me just add this in real quick. So my allowance is, let's see, my allowance is $200 a month, and so I'm gonna need to change this to $705. So yeah, anyways, what I was saying before is that I will be filling out my weekly check-in, and that's because, as you guys just saw, my allowance, I increased my allowance. My allowance was $150 beforehand, and so now with me increasing it a bit, I just want to make sure that I'm keeping like a weekly kind of like, you know, account of how much I'm spending, because I don't want to just, you know, having given myself this extra money to play with and kind of just be blowing it. I hate when I have like my allowance and I blow it like all in the first week of the month. That is not cute. So I want to keep track of those things, as well as all my other variable expenses like groceries and households and stuff like that. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do, because that video will be coming out next week, as well as I will be doing my sinking funds video. And I typically don't do my sinking funds video until the first paycheck of the month, because if you guys don't know, the way that I kind of like plan out my finances is the last paycheck of each month goes towards my expenses for the following month, right? So I just got paid my last paycheck of February, and that's why I'm filling out my March budget, so I know how much I need to set aside in my bills and expenses checking account for the next month, right? And so then the first paycheck of the next month goes like entirely towards savings. So that goes towards my sinking funds and just general savings. So when I get that paycheck, that's when I will fill out my sinking funds. And yeah, so yeah, stay tuned for that. Subscribe and click the bell notification so you know when those videos are gonna come out. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.